Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Honestly. I'm Chelsea Toronto.
And I'm Dr. Lindsay.
And welcome. This week we have a very special guest, Cody Tucker of the Cody Tucker Show. Welcome.
Cody, if there's anything you want to plug right away in the beginning, now's your chance.
Yeah, I mean, you could just find me on Instagram as at the Cody Tucker, and then the podcast is the Cody Tucker Show. So YouTube, Spotify, Apple, all that stuff.
Okay. And also follow at The Honestly Show on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Awesome.
Yep. Okay. So, Cody, I'm new to your content. So, if you could explain for everyone what exactly you do on Instagram and why you're such a big deal, that'd be great.
Yeah. Well, that's a good question. I don't really know how it became, such a thing, but it sure did. But yeah, I mean, the content is really just me taking like interesting stories from history or pop culture and just trying to like condense them down into a minute, like a minute long reel, and just trying to make sure that they're stories that most people probably don't know, and then just doing like some little fun facts, like compilation stuff like that too. Yeah, that's mostly what the Instagram is, and then some clips from the actual podcast too.
And it's a lot of history, right?
Okay. Mostly, yeah. It's pretty much all history, and then some of it is centered around like pop culture.
Okay. How do you find all these fun facts?
I read nonstop. Like
Oh.
always reading. Like trying to find some little like nugget of something that, might be interesting, and then do like a dive into that little thing and then see like kind of where it goes.
What are you reading?
I mean, well, a lot of it's just like online, and then the problem is that you don't know whether any of that is actually true, so you have to kind of like look up books that might prove it. And then I have like, I don't know, hundreds of books that I'd like read through like pretty often. And
Oh my
yeah.
God. Is that your full-time gig?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
How long does it take you in research to come up with a clip?
For research, sometimes it's like super quick. Like I'll just open up a book and find some like interesting story of, this person grew up with this person. Like, oh shit, there's one. And then other times it takes like hours and hours to find, of just looking through nothing. Most books are boring, if you haven't figured that out by now.
Yeah, they are. What were you doing before you were the history buff of Instagram?
Just working a bunch of random jobs. I mean, I went to school to get my degree, like bachelor's in history, which the plan was to become a history teacher, which I guess in a sense, I kind of did, but
Absolutely.
I don't have to deal with a bunch of, annoying ass kids. So that kind of helped. Yeah. And then, just a bunch of random jobs. Worked at like a Best Buy, a movie theater, like telemarketing,
Awesome.
the stuff that brings joy to your life.
Now educating dummies is okay. With that being said, Cody, let me ask you a question. If you were tasked with revamping the U.S. education system, what would you do?
Get rid of half of it.
Oh.
Get rid of half. I mean, there's no reason why there's no reason why you should be there from 8, sometimes 7:30 in the morning until 4 p.m. All that is doing is just trying to get you ready to work a 9-to-5 job and not hate your life.
Right.
So yeah, you would go from, say like 10 to 3, maybe 10 to 2. Get rid of, most like of the electives that are kind of, I mean, a bunch of BS really. And then once you get into high school, just immediately getting you prepped for college, like becoming specialized instead of just, taking a bunch of math classes that you don't give a shit about.
Oh, would you take away gym class?
Not for little kids. Because, I mean, if you can't tell, I was a big son of a bitch growing up. Still am. And that little, like, 30 minutes of, PE could probably save me. It probably saved me from getting my foot chopped off. So I'm gonna go ahead and say keep PE for now. But once you get to high school, like junior high school level, no, you don't need to be doing that. Just play sports if you want to do something.
I know, that was my only time to shine in PE class.
Jesus, yeah.
I was a loser. Okay.
Same.
Well, you didn't even hesitate. You just were ready to answer that question.
I do agree, because like, why are we in school that freaking long? Because the attention span that we have is definitely not even lasting through an entire class.
Yeah. And the amount of sleep that a child/teenager needs in a night. I mean, you're there's no way. Like, I was sleeping maybe 3 or 4 hours at the most from, like, 10 years old until 18. Like,
Why?
just
Why?
oh, is that weird? I
Yeah.
thought I
Were
thought
you
y'all were
up
gonna
all
be
night
on
reading
board with
history
me.
books?
Yeah, no, it's
I
weird.
know. I mean, usually I was up all night watching, like, Laguna Beach and shit, and like, random TV shows. But yeah, I mean, I couldn't go to sleep at night ever.
Really?
Like, no, 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 no.
I mean, Laguna Beach, between the Steven and Kristen and Elsie love triangle, how could you go to bed?
Exactly. Add in a little
Uh-huh.
Jason Waller in there to make it extra
Oh,
spicy. Yeah. No,
little bad boy.
oh yeah, I just didn't sleep that much, and I think that's pretty common. I thought maybe not. I don't know.
You're appalled, so I don't know.
I feel like kids are sleep deprived. I always thought that was the case, but maybe maybe I was the only one.
I don't.
So also, I know that you have a lot of adult film actresses on
Uh-huh.
your show.
Why?
Why?
They're interesting people. I mean, so I guess for the beginning, I wasn't planning on ever, doing that, but I got into a bit of an argument with a friend's girlfriend who she was like saying that, we were talking about porn and she was thinking that anybody who's in adult film work, she was like, they're all just, like disgusting people and all this stuff. And I was like, that's probably not true. She's like, they're all drug addicts, abusive, all that stuff. And I was like, well, I could probably just reach out to somebody and see if they want to like talk about what it's like. And yeah, a bunch of people said yes. And I was like, oh, okay. And then now it's just become like kind of a fun thing to, talk about stuff that most people definitely are too ashamed to talk about, but shouldn't be.
What's a fun fact that you've learned from interviewing them that you find most surprising?
Yeah, the most interesting that you also didn't know.
What's interesting, it's interesting, but also kind of in a boring way, is how boring it is on a set of a shoot. Like how much it's the exact. So I don't know if you've ever been on a movie set or a TV set or anything. It is 99% you just waiting around, waiting for lighting to get done, blah, blah, blah. And it's like super boring. And have like 5 seconds of action and then it stops and another 3 hours of nothing. It's the exact same thing. So they're not just like, laying on a bed and having sex and then, all right, everybody go home. Like it is, you wouldn't know the difference between that and a movie set unless except for the insertion.
The action.
Yeah. Yeah, the penetration gives it away a little bit, but other than that, I mean, it's no different.
Will you be guest starring in any future films anytime soon?
Amazing. I would totally watch it.
Well,
I would totally pay.
I'll restart the old OnlyFans and get that going. But, no, I mean, I don't know if I would ever do that or not. I wouldn't be against it. I don't give a shit.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
I would know. I'm not like pursuing it in any way. No.
If they reached out to you?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Hell
Might
yeah.
as well.
Yeah. Would you do OnlyFans?
I mean, I don't know what the hell I would be doing on OnlyFans.
I don't know. There's a flavor for everyone out there, so you can find
okay.
Yeah,
your niche.
it turns out I do get a little traction from the bears.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Yeah. So I've gotten a few DMs that I'm like, oh boy, yeah. I mean, if I was, if not heterosexual, then I'd be doing great because those messages aren't coming in nearly as much as from the the bear community. So I mean, I guess maybe I'd do well in that market, that demo. But yeah.
Do you have a lot of fans that reach out?
Yeah, most of the people that reach out sure don't seem to be fans because they're not saying like the nicest stuff.
Really?
Really?
Oh yeah. I think that's anything with if you get any kind of attention.
Not me.
Most people that are going to message you are going to say
No,
something. Really
I don't get that.
Well, do you get more positive than negative?
Definitely more positive. Yeah. So like comments and stuff like that, which I try not to read them, but it sucks because I do like to read them because I like to tell people thank you if they say something nice, like I appreciate it. But also there's some on there where they hit you right in the chest.
Oh no.
Holy shit. Which I mean, but that's just part of it. That's part of like doing anything publicly. Like you're gonna have people that just say stuff to say it. But I would say 80% positive. So it's pretty good. But that 20% stands out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't say that that's been. Well, they go to spam. They tell me nice gams.
Well, I get that too. But yeah.
Really put myself out there.
Yeah, you do.
You know, on OnlyFans, sometimes people like will do ASMR, like nighty night, read bedtime
Mhm.
stories in like
Oh,
negligees and stuff. How do you feel
oh,
about
I
that?
could do that. Oh,
Yeah.
I have so many negligees that are just being, wasted right now.
No, but
Yeah.
would you subscribe to
Yeah.
that? That'd be so hot.
I'd do
Let's
it.
say
Yeah,
someone
I'd do that.
on this podcast wanted to do that as an OnlyFans page. Would you subscribe?
Okay, so here's the point. We're at a middle-aged like crossroad, and it turns
Middle.
out we might be
How old are y'all?
old enough to
Not
be at a
middle-aged.
old enough to be at a
Y'all aren't
crossroad.
middle age.
Well, how about this? We feel like we're unemployable
Yeah, I feel
Well, that's
we feel very
understandable.
unemployable.
because it's like,
Hmm.
oh,
We have a lot of soft skills,
Okay,
lacking in the hard skills.
gotcha.
so what is the question as it relates to
Should you do
films?
OnlyFans?
No, okay, so the joke is always for ladies. Oh, I should start stripping. Well, the
Yeah.
joke's on us. Stripping is a little bit harder than one would think, right? It's not just like getting up on stage. Like that's the least of your problem. But
Mhm.
given that you talk to so many adult film stars, do you have any suggestions on what we should do?
What you two should do? I mean, an OnlyFans probably wouldn't be a bad way to go. I mean, if you're trying to, get into that market, I mean, I don't know, like, yeah. Otherwise, yeah. I mean, pick up a trade, maybe. How to, learn how to, be an electrician. There's always a need for that.
An HVAC system?
Yeah.
Yeah, get an HVAC. Yeah, I mean, open up a landscaping business. I don't know what you should
Yeah,
do.
no, it's hard to like merge onto the highway of like $6,000 because that's kind of what you need in Denver, at
At least.
to live,
Mm,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so that is a real conundrum. But
yeah.
yeah, anyway,
I guess so you were doing like all your random jobs and then you started doing the history on Instagram and then it just like blew up one day and now here you are.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
kind of. Like I was doing the podcast for like 4 or 5 years, maybe 3, maybe a little bit less. And I was doing like the history stuff as part of the podcast. Like I would end every episode with just telling some story from history, and then I started just clipping those, and making reels, and then started doing it separate. And yeah, and some people saw them and started sharing them, and then that got a lot of attention. So
was there one in
yeah.
particular that went viral that kind of started the whole thing?
Ooh, that's a good. Yeah, there was one about Jim Morrison. So I've done quite a few on Jim Morrison. I'm a huge Doors fan, a huge Jim Morrison fan too. There was a story about him getting really pissed off that the rest of the Doors wanted to stop on their way they were going to Detroit to do a show, and the rest of the people in the Doors wanted to stop and get ice cream on the way to the show, and Jim Morrison was not having it. It's like, fuck that. Like, we are rock stars. We don't need ice cream. And so he just downed a bottle of whiskey and had one of the worst shows ever. Basically just sat on the stage crawling around like drunk, and they had to carry him off. And there was a riot because the show ended after like 5-6 minutes. But one of the people in the crowd was a young Iggy Pop who
Nice.
saw it and was like, holy shit, I could do this. So yeah, like,
I could quit.
I could roll around on stage drunk off my ass.
I could quit after 5 songs. I'm a quitter. No, I'm not lactose intolerant.
Yeah. So yeah, that was one that just because I don't think it's particularly that interesting, to be honest, but it got like, a lot of traction, which is always kind of seems that way. The ones I think are interesting usually don't do as well as the
Isn't that the
opposite.
truth?
That's the truth. The more effort
Yeah.
you put into it, the worse it does.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like with modern day pop culture, are you like keeping up with J-Lo? Are you keeping up with Meghan Markle? No.
I mean, I keep up enough to know that I hate both of those people so much.
Why?
Yeah, no, go for it. Tell us
I think
everything.
Jennifer Lopez is just, I hate people that are full of themselves and think that because they've had some success in life, that means that they're better than other people. Jennifer Lopez is basically the epitome of that. I've never heard anybody say like, wow, that was a nice interaction I just had with Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah.
And then Meghan Markle is kind of the same, just very much like, have your cake and eat it too kind of bullshit. Yeah, I want to be part of this royal family and never have to really like do anything again, but I don't want any of the negativity that comes with it. It's like, well, that doesn't work. Like you
I know.
gotta
I
have
am
both.
a Meghan Markle apologist. I'm obsessed with her. I love her. I think she's gorgeous, and
Oh yeah.
in my mind, she can do no wrong. And
Mm.
I think, yeah, she definitely didn't know what she was getting herself into. I think she thought that she could like walk all over them, and it's like, no.
But this is
She
history,
knew, she
literally.
knew without a doubt. She knew exactly what she was getting into. There is no one on
Yeah.
this planet
Mhm.
that doesn't realize how powerful that family is and like how much you have to toe the line in that family. There's no way she didn't know.
Do you
She
think?
just
Sorry, go ahead.
oh no, I was just she likes the sympathy that she gets from the people who also hate the royal family, which I
Mhm.
do. I mean, I think they're a bunch of, horrible people, but I just think she's annoying, but not horrible. They're
She's annoying.
horrible and annoying, which is Jesus.
I also have a theory that someone at like in the royal family is doing her PR and like sabotaging her because
Yeah.
she makes such poor decisions and the PR timing of everything is always so bad.
Yeah, it's
So
really
someone has infiltrated from the royal family.
They have the worst PR. That whole royal family. It's not even just her, but I do agree with what you're saying. But that whole royal family has the worst PR team ever. Like they make so many, like that painting, the portrait of King
Oh,
Chuck.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like who saw that and was like, "Yep,
You didn't
that's the one that needs to go out."
I know. I'm like, who approved that?
They didn't,
Yeah, we
like,
want
test
you
it.
in a puddle of blood.
Yeah.
And it
Actually,
was
I
like
love
this.
it.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, if I were to have a portrait done of me, that's what I would model it after. After
Really?
old King Chuck. Yeah, me covered in blood like
Going out in
that.
a blaze of glory.
Yeah, it'd be amazing. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do you
The
think
cigarette. Yeah.
like
Oh yeah.
Do you think Meghan Markle went in knowing that she was gonna break up the family? Because she's literally repeating history, right? Queen, what was it?
Well, what
Princess
repeating what Princess Diana?
No, no, no. Okay, so Queen Elizabeth, her dad was second in line, and then what
Oh,
was it? You know what
and
I'm talking about.
yeah, and then he yeah, 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 it was oh shit, I
Abdicated the
can't remember his
throne.
name. Yeah, so the first son abdicated the throne because he was married to this woman named, I think, Wallace Simpson. I'm pretty sure
Exactly.
Mhm.
was her name. And, she was a commoner, so
And
and
divorcee.
and a
Divorcee.
divorcee, which, oh boy. And, yeah,
Tell
so it was like, "You can't be king and marry this woman." He's like, "Well, fuck being king, I wanna marry her." So he
he's
did.
like pussy whipped.
Oh, to the extreme. There's not a chance in hell I would give up that much power for anyone. Not
No
a
matter
chance.
how much pussy you got.
He's like a Fredo from, like, The Godfather. You're like, "Oh, man." Really? Like, half-baked.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, maybe, yeah, if it's that bad, you definitely shouldn't be king.
No,
No.
no.
Anyway,
Anyways, have you been watching the Olympics?
Oh, yeah. I love the Olympics.
you do.
What?
Yeah,
What?
I love it.
Really?
I
What
I get
sport would you do?
obsessed with it. Oh, what sport would I do?
Yeah.
I mean, despite what you may think, I'm actually pretty agile in the water, so I
I
could
don't
probably
think
do some
anything.
swimming.
We haven't really, I don't know why, yeah, we don't think
Well,
anything otherwise.
I don't think anybody's looking at me and being like, "I bet that motherfucker can swim." Like,
I almost
no.
drowned the other day, so, yeah, it doesn't matter. No one's
Jesus.
immune.
Yeah, I
But
guess so.
right, so you think you would do something in the water?
Yeah, I think something like that. Maybe like what's the one where they dance under the water?
Oh, the artistic swimming? That's
Well,
getting to
yeah,
be
yeah, they call it
so
something
fancy
else.
And
now.
so competitive. Do you see
Mhm.
that documentary?
Well, and now they're like launching people up above water, and then you do like a, I don't know, some kind of yoga pose when you're up there, and then you come back down. Your facial expressions have to be
Oh
smiley.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
could do that for sure.
Yeah.
You can launch someone up out of the water. You can
Oh,
be the base.
yeah, I'd be launched. I don't want to be the base. That's
They can
boring as
launch
hell.
you.
Exactly. Yeah, I want to be launched out in a unitard.
Give like a
Yeah,
little star pose. Yeah.
exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah, like a little mermaid. That's what I want. Yeah. Yeah. No, I love the Olympics. I get obsessed with it. I'm more of a Winter Olympics person, but I like,
Mhm.
both. Yeah,
This
yeah.
has been a great
Have
Olympics.
have you been, like, deep diving into history of Olympics?
Yeah, I've done like quite a bit. Like there's not a whole lot of like super interesting stuff about the Olympics. I mean, there is some like, with the Jesse Owens and Hitler stories pretty crazy and like the guy that made Adidas, Adolf Dassler, which that's why it's called Adidas, Adidas, like wanted Jesse Owens to like wear Adidas shoes, which was obviously a big slap in the face to old Adolf Hitler. And like, so he basically became like the first sponsored athlete ever. And it was during that Olympics, which out of all ones, that's a pretty big one. But yeah, I mean, the original Greek ones were pretty damn wild. Like they did everything naked, which they should probably bring back. But,
aerodynamics.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There's some events where I was like, God, I mean, they're basically already there, but
just take it
I know. Did you see that guy? His junk hit the pole vaults.
We should all have that problem.
Yeah.
We should all be so lucky.
Oh yeah. Story of my life. Yeah. Oh, I saw that. Yeah, that was amazing. I mean, that's the best failure you could possibly have.
100%. Oh my gosh.
Like I would have won the gold, but my dick's too big. Sorry.
I actually enjoy the stories more that come out of the Olympics rather than the actual events of the Olympics.
Yeah.
Like that really hot chick from.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
What country is she from?
Is she from the Netherlands?
I think so.
She's from the blonde. Well, obviously blonde if you're from the Netherlands. Yeah. Who was basically walking around naked around the Olympic Village. I was like, God, I am in the wrong line of work. It's like if I could be a janitor at the Olympic Village. Oh my God. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, I saw that.
Jack kicked out for like being too hot and walking around being too hot.
I know. When she went to Disneyland, which
mhm.
they were not happy about. I mean, what else is there to do in Paris? I don't want to do any of that other bullshit. Just let me go to Disneyland.
I know. She was done anyway, so who cares?
Yeah. Well, I think it was because she retired. Like she retired from competing, and they were like, okay, well, you need to leave. She's like, I'm not leaving. I mean, like, I still got a lease on this thing. And so, yeah, she went to like Disneyland and was partying and walking around naked. And I was like, yeah, this is like my dream woman.
Every lady's your dream lady, though. You're an equal opportunist, and I love that about you. I've never heard you say, "Oh, that's not really my type." Oh, you did say once there was one person, but 99 out of 100%, you're like, I like ladies. That's cool.
Well, no, there's a lot that are not my type.
Really?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I've given enough that. Yeah, well, I mean, it's more of like a personality thing. There's like personality types that are just not gonna
like what
do it for me.
I'm taking notes.
I'd say like anything where like where there's just no drive whatsoever. Like you're just coasting through life. That turns me off.
Oops. Okay. I'll see you later. I'm out.
No, y'all. I mean, y'all are doing something.
No, not really.
Well, I mean, this is at least something. I mean, there's some people who do absolutely nothing, and then also people who watch TV with subtitles on, like closed captions.
What the fuck? What? No, that's reading. No, in defense of subtitles. Okay, sometimes there's a time and a place for subtitles. If you're watching Love Island UK, I cannot understand a word that they say sometimes, and the slang is like not translating to my ears. So I need to see what they're saying. So I need the subtitles.
I agree with that. And doesn't it count for reading?
Well, yeah, but I mean, I guess so. It's like a magazine. So is a recipe. I mean, it's all reading, but I mean, I wouldn't consider that to be a literature hour. I just think it's the most annoying thing on the planet to me. I can understand like actually what you're saying with shows that are British and like real British, where you're like, you're like, this is the same language that we're doing? Because it doesn't seem like it. Yeah, I get that, but no, if you're just watching like The Office and you have the subtitles on, you're a psychopath. Like just listen. Just use your ears. Listen. Like people did it for a long time. Ugh. Yeah.
I feel like also though, if you have the subtitles on,
it's nice knowing
you. If you have the subtitles on, you actually have to like watch the show and pay attention.
Yeah, you could just do that anyways. I mean, I've never had an issue. Like, I don't understand how you have an issue with that. Just watch it. I mean, just watch TV. Like when you go to a movie theater, like you don't need them to. Like, are you going to ask the people in the movie theater, like, "Hey, I need you to turn on the subtitles for me"? Like, no, you would just sit there and watch it.
I'm going to ask for the actual script so I can flip through, make notes,
read along with it. Yeah. Yeah. That drives me absolutely nuts.
Well,
Oh,
sometimes
that is a strong
yeah.
feeling.
Okay, but I think I'm
But,
going deaf a little
Yeah,
bit.
no, totally.
Uh-huh, and my husband is not.
hey, man.
So, he has it so quiet. I'm like, "I can't hear it. I need the subtitles."
Oh, that okay, so there is, like, I do know
Oh,
some
there's a
people
caveat,
who
is there?
no, 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 I'm going with you. So, like, I know some people who do this whole stupid stuff where they watch TV with the subtitles on, and they're like, "Oh, it's because the action scenes are too loud and the talking is too quiet." Boo-hoo. It's supposed to be. A car crash is supposed to be louder than 2 people sitting in a coffee shop talking. Like, that's how life is. So, yeah, it's louder.
Yeah, it irks the shit out of me because he will turn it down during, like, a loud time and then, like, turn it back up during a quieter time. I'm like, "Pick a fucking volume and stick with it." Like, it is so
Insane.
insane. Yeah.
Divorce him.
It's
I
grand.
mean,
I can't do it over that. We've made it, like, almost 10 years, so I think I'll put up with it.
Lindsay was
people
the
have
child
divorced
bride.
over
Mhm.
worse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
I was a child bride.
Are you
Uh,
seeing anyone now? Not to put you on the spot. We were
no.
Westboro. Yeah.
Uh-uh.
I can't believe that. That's hard to honestly. So impressive.
Why is it
Um,
hard to believe?
I don't know, because I would think you've had enough fangirls that are like, "Oh my gosh."
Uh,
Yeah, no, like real history buffs.
yeah. I mean, maybe, but no, like, talk to somebody here and there, maybe go on a few dates every once in a
Nice.
while, but no, no, I'm not like seeing anyone. I'm not spoken for.
Oh.
And then they dirty
Yeah.
talk history in bed, like
On
Oh yeah.
OnlyFans?
Yeah.
In their
Yeah.
negligee?
So in 1895. Yeah.
You whisper it in their ear.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah. No, dating's hard. Yeah, I'm not successful in that.
Well, there's still time.
Yeah. Do you
It's
have
not
a
that hard.
no, I don't really give it shit. What about your brief comedic career?
I mean,
You
I'd
must
like to think it's still ongoing. I just don't ever do it anymore. So it's like a very long sabbatical.
will you
Um,
resume?
yeah, 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 for sure. Yeah, I just kind of got overcome by a bit of anxiety.
Yeah.
Basically, like every time I leave the house, I feel like I'm gonna die. So,
Every time you leave the house, you feel like you're gonna die?
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh my
hmm
gosh. Do you ever leave your house?
No, because I don't like feeling like I'm about to die.
Oh my
So,
god. It
I don't
sounds
so
wanna die.
no,
it
not
honestly
really.
sounds, like, thrilling,
Yeah, well, I mean, I will a little bit, and then
You
it'll
don't
go
leave
away
your house?
after like. No, I mean, I do, but not much. Like yeah, not really that much anymore. Like I don't know what it is. Something just kind of happened, and I was like, oh shit, I'm like having panic attacks all the time. Like where
Oh.
the hell did this
Sorry to
come
hear that.
from? It kind of like comes in waves. So like probably a month from now it'll be completely gone, and then 6 months later it'll hit me across the face again. But such is life.
Wait, so you were doing stand-up?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was doing
Oh.
stand up for a while, which I still would like to, and I still write. Like I haven't ever like stopped because I do plan on doing it again. Like as soon
You
as
could do it on TikTok.
yeah, all right.
No?
I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't do that really. Like I think you kind of have to just go the classic route. Go
It's
to the
hard.
club, go on stage,
Mhm.
and make 6 people laugh, and drive
Screw
an
it.
hour back home.
Yeah. What got you into comedy and stand-up?
Oh, I've always been a huge stand-up comedy fan. Like watching it growing up. Like I'm from Texas, like so the South. So like when I was a kid, Blue Collar Comedy Tour was a big deal. With like Larry the Cable Guy, Ron White, and all those guys. And that whole thing kind of got me into it. I was like, oh, I would love to be able to do that because I can make kids like in school laugh. Like it can't be that much different. It,
It
it
is.
is, but it is, but it isn't. Like there is still a lot of similarities where you just have to be dumb and silly and like say silly shit the same way that you would do it to make you know, like first day of class, like how you would try to make them laugh. It's not really that much different.
Huh.
Yeah. I commend anyone who does it because it's scary up there. I did it one time just to be like, "Hey, I did it." And I'm like, "Okay, that was good."
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I think everybody should try it. I mean, you never know. Like some people are much funnier as a writer than they are just like having conversations. And
Yeah.
stand up is way better for that. And so some people don't think that they could do it because they're like, well, I never make my friends laugh. It's like, well, yeah, because you're not funny on the spot, but you are a funny writer. And if you went on stage and told like jokes that you've written, you'd actually be, yeah, pretty successful.
Well, there's also a third element in the theater, the actual, like, performance, right? So you could write funny, you could be funny,
Mhm.
but then to translate that on stage and to
Mhm.
remember to, like, use your body motions and, like, I found that to be particularly challenging, and it's such a mental game, right? Like, to recognize that you feel like you're about to die. "Okay, anyway, so welcome, Chelsea Toronto," and you're like, "Oh my god, here we go." And then when you black out and you have to, like, remember what you wrote that was considered funny
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
not fuck it up, it's challenging.
Yeah,
It's
it
the
is.
hardest thing I've ever done.
I would agree for sure. Yeah. I mean, I love doing it and I love the feeling afterwards, but I hate the whole day leading up to it.
Oh,
Knowing
yeah.
that like tonight I mean, get on stage for like 6, 7 minutes. So it's like nothing crazy. But that whole day I'm dreading it. I'm finding any excuse to like not go. Like, I don't, who gives a fuck? Fuck, I'm not gonna be a comedian. Fuck this. But I still just, yeah, would go and do it. And it always worked out like decently well. So I don't know why I'm so like worried about it. But yeah.
Because you just never know. The audience is different every time. So
It's so
one day it could slap, one day it could not.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and yeah, stumbling over your words, that's another thing that I've done a few times where I was like, "Wait, why didn't anybody laugh at that?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I said the words backwards." It's like, yeah, so they don't know what I'm talking about right now. Like there's a lot of that too where but it's just like a practice thing.
Oh,
Mhm.
indeed. I have a current bit about the economics of gold diggers, and that
Okay.
depending it depends on where I'm performing. So, there's the South towns, like the south part of Denver, which is
Mhm.
more affluent, and they've been married, and they belong to, like, country clubs, and a lot of the ladies can relate.
Yeah, I
Like
bet.
and their husbands and the whole thing. But when I go downtown, it's usually a younger crowd from like 40 and younger, and they
Mhm.
don't even get it. They can't even
Yeah.
relate. So you have to be I found that I have to be mindful of my audience and what they're bringing, like where their heads at currently in today's culture. So I found that to be you probably do that with your reels, right? Do you consider your audience and what they do? Well, I don't know. Do they know
No,
does
I don't
anyone
give a
know
shit.
history? Yeah,
No, I
I
could
do.
care. I don't care what they. No, I don't care if they're like. I don't think about what they're gonna think is interesting. I no. I feel like I have a pretty decent idea of like what would be interesting or not. I mean, so I'm definitely wrong a lot of times, but I don't think like, oh, are people gonna think this is interesting? Because I've been proven wrong so many times. So I just say, no, I think this is good. So I'll just put it out. And
Yeah,
I mean, worst possible scenarios, no one watches that day's reel. Like,
yeah.
who
Oh,
cares? Like,
no.
yeah, like it's
Seriously,
not
yeah.
that big of a deal. I mean, I just move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Anyways, I just wanna switch gears a little bit.
Okay.
Are you having a brat summer?
What the hell does that mean? I guess the answer would be no then.
No, you wanna say yes.
You wanna say yes. It's like
It was a
it's like
trick
hot
question.
girl summer, it's like living your best life summer, like, I don't give a fuck summer. You're just being a brat.
I don't know
Yeah,
why
I'm
they call
not
it Brad.
doing that. No,
No?
no, it's kind of like a shelter in place summer. Yeah. No, a hermit lifestyle summer maybe. Like
Hermit hunt.
Hot
yeah.
hermit summer?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe a hot hermit summer. Yeah, just bouncing from shell to shell. I mean it's also like 170 degrees in Texas, so like it's not really like fun to go out and do anything anyways.
That's perfect.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
lucky
I
for
mean,
you.
really, my anxiety picked the right time of year to hit me because I'm not missing out on anything.
That's
That is
awesome.
something to be very grateful for.
Turn
Yes.
that frown
Yeah.
upside down.
I just feel like every summer there's, like, a different iteration of, like, blank summer, and
Yeah.
this year it's brat summer, last year was, like, hot girl summer.
What Tom Hanks's idiot kid do? He did one that was like white boy summer.
Yeah.
And he said, "This is the summer for white boys." I was like, "I think we've had a lot of summers there, Chet." Yeah, I
The
think if you go
entire
back and look, there's been a lot of
hasn't
white
been
boy
one. There
summers.
Yeah,
really
we've had some
wasn't.
very solid summers.
Yeah.
Take a
Yeah.
knee for at least one summer.
Yes. Yeah.
I also
God.
want your thought on this. So I was watching this YouTube channel and there's an uproar of people of a certain size who want canyons to be enlarged for them because they can't get through the little like crevasses of the canyon, let's say in like Moab.
Wait,
And
wait,
you know,
wait.
yeah.
Slow
Wait, what
down.
is it?
Start again.
Okay, this is I saw this on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
Controversial.
Yeah,
Hot
this
take.
is hot take. But there is, like in Moab or like in Utah and like Arizona, you have the canyons and
Yeah,
you
yeah,
like
yeah.
go through those little tiny narrow like passageways.
127 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah,
127
127
hours.
hours.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aaron Ross did that.
So
Yeah.
there's like this group on YouTube that is having an issue with it and they want the canyons widened so that they can fit through and wheelchair accessibles.
Oh no. No. Fuck that.
And
If you're too fat to get through a canyon, you're too fat.
that's what I was saying.
Yeah. Say I'm larger than a canyon. Like, yeah, no. No, you don't get to change geography because you can't put down a fucking candy bar. Like, that's not how this works. And this is coming from somebody who is a large son of a bitch. I wouldn't, but I've also never been on board of like, oh, people should change because of how I am. Fuck that. I like people need to adapt to how things are. Lose some fucking weight and you can get through the canyon. You'll be all right. The wheelchair thing now, I mean, unless you go to like a certain type of church or something, you're probably not getting out of that wheelchair anytime soon. But, yeah. But still, I mean, you don't need to see a canyon if you're in a wheelchair. You have other things to worry about. You don't need to worry.
Yeah.
You don't need to see a canyon.
There's
Like,
better
there's
things
some-
to see.
Yeah. Yeah, there's things I don't need to see. And there's things people in wheelchairs don't need to see. You don't need to see a canyon. You'll be all right.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, oh yeah, why don't you just shave off like 10,000 feet off of Mount Everest so I can summit to the top? And also like put an elevator up so that I can make it accessible.
Yes, it should be able to be summited by everyone equally, no matter what. There should be no feat of accomplishment for anything ever again. Yeah.
No.
So stupid. Yeah, like make the Olympics like where everybody has to like start at different places based on your speed so you all finish at the exact same time. Congratulations, a 30-way tie.
It's like put me next to the finish line. I can't.
Yes, I should be able to just reach my finger over and tap the finish line. I'll wait until they're getting close so I know, but yeah. No, that's insane. That's a real thing? Or
Yeah.
That's a real thing. Like the entitlement is getting out of control.
God. Yeah, I don't like. I hate that. Any kind of feeling of entitlement drives me crazy. Because I guess I was just raised to like never feel entitled about something, like to a fault maybe in some ways. But yeah, that is mind boggling.
Mm-hmm. I know. I just wanted your take on that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
agreed.
Yep.
I don't know. If I could, I would.
Good,
I don't
what?
need to take you.
Just sit down and just shave.
You're gonna shave
And
the
then they'll be
canyon?
like, forget it. It took you so long. I'm over it.
You know what? That's how they should do it. They should make the fat asses that want to do it. They should have to be the ones who go down there to shave it, because then they'll end up losing the weight by the time they get it shaved down. So yeah, there you go. If you want it shaved, you go down there with a chisel
Here's your
and chisel
tools.
this
Here
canyon.
you go.
Here's your tool set. Here's a couple bottles of water and an apple. Good luck.
An apple. Sorry, I
Yeah.
don't know why I think that's so
And then
funny.
come back 6 hours later, and they'll probably have lost 8 to 10 pounds.
They look down.
It's
They're
like,
like, I'm good.
congratulations, you can get through the canyon now. Like, yeah.
Okay.
That's all I got.
I think that's it.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for listening. Make sure you share this with your bestie. And again, like, subscribe, follow all the things on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts at The Honestly Show. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Disclaimer. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. The stories and statements expressed herein are experiences and opinions. They may not represent the views of the production studio or the hosts. If you disagree with our content, that's okay. No podcast is perfect for everyone.